I'm Dave Bell. I've been chairing the Arable Roadshow, the FAS, AHDB, SRUC Arable conferences, and it's been great to have everybody from farmers to supply chain to industry stakeholders here in the room, listening to some great presentations about the different varieties, the seed varieties that we have coming forward for 2026, the different fungicides and their efficacy, and how the growers need to utilise them in their spray plans around the crop production. We've had talks from PGRO about beans and pulses in arable rotation, as we have challenges with the Scottish rotation, with the challenge of spring barley enterprises. And then we had PCN control for potatoes, not just in potato crops per se, but the arable rotation around how that to safeguard that high value potato crop. And then we've had some great questions from the audience. We've really held the presenters to account, and it's been pretty robust. So it's always good to get them squirming a little bit. And then we've had conversations this afternoon about greening, the updates to the greening regulations in 2026 and going forward for EFA, which has been insightful just to give growers that actual knowledge, that first-hand knowledge of what is happening, what are the changes to the systems that we need to be aware of ahead of IAC's applications. But no, it's been a great day, and it's always a good turnout at the Arable conferences.
I'm Neil Melville from the Cooper office of SEC Consulting. I've been speaking here at the FAS Arable Roadshow. I was presenting changes to the greening EFA rules that are coming in for 2026. The main points are there's minor changes to the EFA options that have been in place since 2015, and there's also 4 new EFA options that have been introduced for 2026 onwards. Just the main points that we went through are the EFA fallow, which was one of the main options taken in 2015, which was one option was you could leave stubble and claim it as EFA fallow. So basically you just harvested your previous crop, left it from the 15th of January to July. That has now gone, but under EFA fallow you have to now in that area establish either temporary grass with 3 flowering plants, wildflower mix, wild birdseed mix, or a soil conditioning mix, and maintain it from the 15th of January to the 15th of July. Otherwise, all other options are pretty much as was, some minor changes in width. And then for the 4 new options, there is a low input grassland, there's unharvested crop, endrigs, there's low density planting of woodland to basically make a policy park that can be grazed by livestock with fruit trees or other native Scottish trees. And there's herbal ley option which is a good option for mixed farming because it has to be established on arable ground, but herbal leys are best suited for grazing. So if you've got livestock or you already rent out ground, then the herbal ley is a good option, and it multiplies 1.5 times per hectare. So it's a good multiplier. I would advise anyone that hasn't already decided on their EFA options for 2026 to either go onto the FAS website or contact their SEC local office and they'll get help.
My name's Neil Havis, I'm plant pathologist at SRUC. I'm here at the Arable Workshop at Murray's Hall in Perth. So today I've been talking about giving growers an update on fungicides, what fungicides they can use on their crops going forward, specifically the cereal crops. We've talked about some of the new products which are coming to market, which will help them control major diseases in wheat like septoria, major diseases in barley like Rhynchosporium and Ramularia, and like leaf spot and oilseed rape. So we've discussed things we've learned from last year in terms of which are most effective chemicals to use, and we've presented graphs which are available at HDB website on fungicide performance, so you can see the graphs there. We've discussed some of the new projects which HDB are funding on biofungicides, a chance for us to get some independent data on how effective these products would be in controlling diseases of cereal crops. And we talked about some of the work we've been doing at SRUC for the Scottish Government, which is looking at alternatives to conventional chemistry, how they fit in a programme to control barley diseases, how they would help protect your yield while giving you a reduction in your conventional pesticide use. The big thing we did see last year was the breakdown of the YR15 resistance gene in wheat, which has meant that yellow rust, a disease which we thought we had well controlled by varieties, has now become a major problem. So look again at your considerations for your fungicide programme. If your variety is susceptible, you might need to consider using something like ostrobilurin or other chemistry to help control it. And the whole other thing about yellow rust is control early on before the disease gets established in the crop. So information on the performance of different fungicides is available on the HDB website. There's a recording of the presentation given by the Fungicide Performance Project to the Agronomy Conference in December. Information on the best chemicals which would be useful in Scotland is available from SAC Consulting.
Hello, I'm Julie Clark and I'm here at the Arable Roadshow conferences. I've been speaking about Farm Bench today, so I'm the Farm Bench Manager for Scotland, covering cereals and oilseeds. We've been talking about the importance of knowing your costs, looking at cost of production from harvest 2025, looking at those crops that have made money, that have been profitable this year. The highlights have been the winter oilseed rape and winter wheat crops, and what we have seen is barley has struggled both spring and winter. Moving forward into 2026, it's really important for farmers to get a handle on their costs, really know what their cost of production is, think about what's going to be the most impact for their business, and make sure that they've got a good handle on a strong rotation for moving forward. If you need any more information, please get in contact with AHDB or the Farm Advisory Service, and we hope to see you at a number of events in the near future.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kerry Leslie. I'm one of the potato consultants at SAC Consulting, and I specialise in nematology. Today we were covering how to manage PCN, or potato cyst nematode, in fields with potatoes in rotation. We were covering management practices such as keeping your land clean, hygiene best practices, management of groundkeeper potatoes elsewhere in the rotation, and selecting the right varieties of potatoes to manage your problem. For more information, you can look at fas.scot or pcnhub.ac.uk for trial results and fact sheets.
Hi, I'm Erin Matlock, the research agronomist with PGRO. So here today I was talking about how to get beans to thrive in Scotland. So really looking at crop rotation, lengthen those legume rotations that also include cover crops so we don't want to have foot rot, and have proper seedbed prep as well as weed control, pest control, and disease control. Varietal choice is important, but to get your basic agronomics is far more superior than having your varietal choice. Varietal choices should come down to your disease resistance management strategy. So looking at chocolate spot, downy mildew, as well as rust. That's where the variety selection comes in. It is not too late to put in your winter bean seed yet. As we get further into March, start looking at increasing your seeding rates. Based on this past year, we have seen quite a bit of viruses out there, so look at aphid management. The new kid on the block again for this season is Savento Prime. It is fairly costly, but it is effective and is an option prior to flowering. A couple of things that growers can do to benchmark their own farm is to get involved in Bean Yen. There will be sponsored places available this upcoming season, or look at getting involved in our NCS project and be an active pulse pioneer. For any information on peas or beans, please look at the PGRO website or across our social media, including LinkedIn and YouTube channels.
My name's David Ross. Today I've been speaking about the changes to the recommended list for varieties of wheat, spring barley, winter barley and oats as well. So some of the main headlines for spring barley is that there's a few new distilling and brewing varieties available, and those are Trailblazer, Roulette, Shona and Nolan. Some of the varieties have now becoming outclassed, so KWS Saucy, Diablo, Skyway and Hurler are beginning to maybe not be quite so good on the list. Removed for the list for 2026 is SY Tennyson, Diviner and Olsen, and Laureate and Firefox are remaining the top choices within the list. Belter is also on the list, but is awaiting final macro scale malting tests. So for winter barley varieties for 2026, there's a new 2-row feed which has BYDV tolerance, which is LG Catapult. There's a new 6-row hybrid called SY Barnabas. TARDIS is still on the list, but is starting to become outclassed. And removed for the list is Bolton, KWS Heracles, Rosemary and Integral. Market leaders for winter barley tends to be LG Caravel and LG Capital, and SY Kingsbarn and SY Canyon are on there as well. For winter wheat, there's a few changes this year. There's a new distilling variety called Sparkler. The new hard feeds is LG Defiance and LG Challenger. New hard milling is KWS Grebe and Arlington. Becoming outclassed is Blackstone and Dawson, although they haven't been on the list for that many years. And there's quite a few being removed for the list, so Skyscraper, Bearstow, Typhoon, Beowulf, Scope, Extase, Palladium, Ultimatum, Newbie and Shergar have all been removed for the list this year. To find out more, you can find out from the FAS advisory website, so fas.scot, or if you want a copy of the 2026 recommended list, which was just launched just before Christmas, the easiest way to do that is just Google SRUC recommended list and it'll pop up there.
It's been great to be here, and we have the Farm Advisory Service, Scottish Government funded, facilitated by SAC Consulting and SRUC. We have AHDB giving insight and content, and we also have the voluntary initiative here, which is integral into plant protection products and best practice for the industry. So the synergies of having the voluntary initiative, AHDB, SAC and SRUC all under the umbrella of the Farmer Advisory Service arable conferences is really powerful for the arable sector.